Hi, this is Melanie of Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do a film review of one of my all-time favorite films, Bangalore Days. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do trailer reactions and film reviews of Indian cinema. Bangalore Days was the second Malayalam film that I ever saw, and I didn't realize that the director and screenwriter of Bangalore Days, Anjali Menon, actually the first Malayalam film that I saw, she wrote the script, and that was Ustad Hotel. So if you watch me for a while, you know my love of Dulquer Salmaan. I saw him in OK Kanmani, and this is years back, before I had this channel. And I looked up at that time, obviously OK Kanmani is a Tamil film, but I looked up what his other works were, and they were mainly, at that time, in Malayalam cinema. I don't even think Malayalam films were that much on streaming, so I ordered from India the DVDs for Ustad Hotel and Bangalore Days. And, oh my gosh, what first Malayalam films to see. He was great in Ustad Hotel, but Bangalore Days, if anyone asks me what Malayalam film should I try, that's the one that I recommend. And I'm not the only one. It's known as sort of an entry point film into Malayalam cinema. It has such a cast. It had all of these people, this film was in 2014, who were on the cusp of stardom, or maybe like Nivin Pauly had a couple of really big hits that came out during the filming and production of Bangalore Days. So everyone was kind of right on the cusp, and Anjali Menon was able to bring all of these people together. Dulquer Salmaan, Nazriya Nazim, Fahadh Faasil, and Nivin Pauly, Parvathy, Nithya, Menen, like the mind boggles. So there's three cousins at the center of this film. Dulquer plays Aju, Nazriya plays Divya, and Nivin Pauly plays Kutan. Interesting thing is that my friend Suchan Mehrotra did an interview with the director Anjali Menon at the 5-year anniversary of this film. And she said that she really crafted these characters around the actors themselves. So for instance, Nivin Pauly had been a software engineer and then went into acting. So that his character is a software engineer. Nazriya grew up in the Gulf. Her character, Divya, also grew up in the Gulf and was educated in the Gulf and then comes back to Kerala. We all know that Dulquer is obsessed with motorbikes and cars, and his character is motocross bike racer and works as a mechanic in a antique classic car shop. She put all of these elements around them. I think the chemistry that they had just as close friends just shines through in this film. Another interesting thing about how she went about making this film feel like real people, real life, is one of the first songs in the film is Mangalyam, which happens at the Nazriya Divya's character's wedding. She's having an arranged marriage to Fahadh Faasil, who admits to her in their meeting that he had a relationship with someone else and he's not sure that he's over them, but she sees him being kind to a dog, and that's enough, which is like, oh my gosh. But anyway, at the festivities leading up to her wedding, there's this spontaneous dance with the characters, and Anjali Menon told Suchan in this interview that she told them, act like real guys and gals. Do not act like you know all the steps. Make it feel real. And it's so charming, and it's one of my favorite song sequences of all Indian cinema because it has exactly that quality of people just joyously celebrating together, dancing together, but not in that polished, changing into 20 costumes kind of way, just naturally celebrating that happy moment and being together as a family. So they're not only cousins, but they're really best friends. As Anjali Menon said, they have a blood relationship, blood relative, but they're also just such close friends. And they support each other. They all end up in Bangalore. After her marriage to Fahadh Faasil's character, she ends up at his apartment in Bangalore. Nivin Pauly's character is taking a job there, and then Dulquer's character says, well, I might as well join you all, and he finds a job there. They're on the cusp of adulthood. They really are whining. They seem very childish kind of at the beginning. They need to all grow up. In fact, Fahadh Faasil's character at one time yells at Nazriya, can you just grow up already? Her relationship is strained with her husband. Even on the wedding night, he takes a conference call to America. They're sharing an apartment, but there is no connection there. And so we see how bubbly she is and how she dissolves into this dark depression over the state of her troubles in her marriage. We're seeing the romances of each character. That's one of the strengths of this movie. Kutan goes through a relationship with a flight attendant and all the complications that he has in that. And then Aju's relationship, he flirts with this radio disc jockey and he's just captivated with her. Okay, I mean, the movie has been out since 2014. I'm going to get into spoilers. If you've never seen the movie, see it already. But he finds out when he goes to meet her, surprise her at the station, that she's a paraplegic in a wheelchair. I felt like you can argue which is the soul of this movie. I don't know. I just loved their relationship. I love him with Parvathy, and of course they went on to make the film Charlie after this. It's interesting also seeing Fahadh Faasil. I've seen him now in so many films, but this is the first film that I ever saw him in. And you really don't like his character because he's withholding any affection, any consideration or love from this wonderful girl Nazriya, and then we find out his deep dark past, what he's wrecked with guilt about, what he can't get over, what Nazriya helps him get over, and oh my god, the reveal of the back tattoo. What a moment! What a moment! Anjali Menon also said this was probably the first Indian film that had motocross racing, on the bikes. And they used a real race in Pune to shoot some scenes of Dulquer's character being in a race. This is one of my all-time favorite films. In this time of quarantine, it is comfort watches really help. And this is a film I was very familiar with, but it's interesting, the nuances, things that you pick up watching a film another time. I don't even can't even count how many times I've seen this film, but it had been some time since I had sat through the entire thing. I recorded a podcast with my friend Manish Mathur, who has the podcast It Pod to Be You. And I will put that link in the description. We had a fascinating discussion. I was the one that got to pick the film that we talked about. His podcast is about romantic comedies. And he had never seen this film. Most of the ones he does are, Hollywood films like Four Weddings and a Funeral and things like that. He had never seen a Malayalam film. He had never seen Bangalore Days, but he'd been meaning to. It was interesting getting his perspective because he's, Hindi films, he understands he doesn't need subtitles, but here it was a different experience for him watching an Indian film and having to rely on subtitles, but he just was so captivated with the story that he found it very delightful. But I thought, you know what, I've never made a video about Bangalore Days, and it's so close to my heart and it's all fresh in my mind right now, so I thought I'd go ahead and make this video. Love to know your thoughts about this film. What's your comfort watch kind of movie? Another one for me is Rabni Banadi Jodi. When I'm really down, that's a movie that I've returned to again and again. It's so sweet and so lovely. That's one that is a comfort watch for me as well. Love to hear your comfort watch in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter at PardeziYT. Subscribe here to Pardesi Reviews. And if you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll never miss another trailer reaction or film review.